let's look at the difference between typical and atypical lips. So first thing which I could like to establish is that lips are classified as typical and atypical lips. Okay, and when you talk about the types of lips, we are basically talking about the true lips, false lips, and floating lips. Those are the three types of lips. Okay, so coming back to our discussion, so before we highlight the differences between typical and atypical, we need to understand the main characteristic of the typical and atypical lips. Okay, so let's start with the typical lips. What things do these have in common? Okay, so when you talk about the typical lips, these they are similar. Okay, they are similar. So you realize to say they all have head. Okay, they have a head, and under the head it has two facets. Okay, it has two facets. So the first facet, or one of the facet, articulates with the corresponding vertebra. Okay, so first facet articulate with the corresponding vertebra, and then the other facet, it articulates with the superior vertebrae. Okay, then we have the neck, and basically the neck is just between the head and the body. Okay, so it's just between the head and the body. Okay, at the level of the tubercle. So it is at the level of the tubercle. Okay, so when we talk about the tubercle, this tubercle, it has two parts. Okay, it has two parts. It has smooth articular part. So this smooth articular part articulates with the transverse process, okay, of the vertebrae. So smooth, so I will just write here like this. So we have one, which is the smooth part. Okay, so this part, it articulates with the transverse process. Okay, articulate, okay, with transverse process, with transverse process like this. Okay, and then we also have the one now which is laugh. Okay, and this laugh, it is articular part. Okay, articular part, and basically this one, it doesn't articulate, isn't it? So this one just provides attachment for the attachment to the ligament. Basically that's what it provides. Okay, so when we talk about the body, what are we talking about? Basically the body is not really interesting. Okay, it's just the most it's just the most prominent parts. Okay, it's also known as the shaft. Okay, so moving on to the atypical lips. So let's go to the atypical. So here we are talking about typical. Okay, so we are talking about typical lips, and basically when we talk about typical lips, we are talking about lip 3 to lip 9. Okay, so depending on the book you are using, other book they could start with lip 2 to 10 somewhere, but other books they will stick to lip 3 to 9. Sorry, so I would advise you use clinical oriented. Okay, clinical oriented by Keith Moore. Okay, so let's move to the atypical ribs. So when we talk about atypical ribs, so now to atypical ribs. So when you talk about atypical ribs, basically we are talking about rib 1 to 10 to 12. Okay, as I said, this depends on the type of the book you are using. Okay, so but for me, the book I was using, these they are classified as rib 1 to 10 to 12. Okay. Okay, so now these they are not similar. Okay, these they are not similar. So let's start with rib 1. Okay, so the first rib. So the first rib is the most broadest ribs. Okay, first. Okay, rib 1. So it's the most broadest rib. Okay, and when we talk about facet, it only have one facet. Okay, so it has one facet, and this first rib it also has a groove. So let me highlight what it has. It has one facet. Okay, apart from that, it also has a groove, and basically this groove is for subclavian vessels. Okay, it's for subclavian vessels. Okay, it also have scalene tubercle. It also have scalene tubercle, and this scalene tubercle basically provides attachment for the scalene muscle. Okay, so it provides attachment for the scalene muscle. Okay, so we are done with first ribs. So let's go to the second rib. So the second rib, this one has two facets. Okay, two facets. And when you talk about other properties it also has tuberosity for serratus. So it has plus, okay, plus tuberosity for serratus. Okay, so this tuberosity for serratus basically provide the origin of this muscle, which is serratus muscle. Okay, so it provides the origin. Okay, this one, remember this one, it has scalene tubercle, and this scalene tubercle just provide attachment to the scalene muscle or scalene anterior muscle. And then this one we are saying it has tuberosity for serratus, and this tuberosity for serratus it provides origin of serratus muscle. Okay, so take note of this. So for rib 10 to 12, okay, so rib 10 to 12, these we have one facet. Okay, so they all have one facet. Okay, aside that, you will notice to say rib 10, 11 rather, rib 11 and 12. Okay, and 12, rib 11 and 12, these are short as compared to other. Then they don't have the neck and the tubercle, so without we can say without neck and tubercle. Okay, so these, they don't have the neck and they don't have tubercle. Okay, so based on this, now we are going now to highlight the difference between these leaves, okay, based on the what we have discussed. So to start with, we'll start with the typical. So these, they all have two head, okay, so all have two, they all have two facet, okay. And when you talk about atypical, only, okay, so only secondary have two facet, okay. And the next one, they all have the head, okay, all have the neck, okay, or they have, all of them, they have the neck. And this one, the 11 and 12 do not have, okay, do not have, okay. And what else? So when you talk about the tubercle, okay, this one all have tubercle, okay, like this, okay, this one like tubercle. And this one, 11 and 12 do not have, okay. Apart from that, we can say you noticed or you realized to say lib 11 and 12 are short, okay, so slightly shorter than the other, okay, so we can say slightly, okay, slightly longer than atypical ribs, okay. And then when you talk about this, we'll say they are shorter or short, so you can just say in bracket especially 11 and 12, okay. So this is how you are going to organize your work as you write your essay. If you are asked to write about the difference between typical and atypical ribs, you just need to draw this table and then highlight in this way, okay. Alright, stay tuned, see you next time.